Have you ever felt frustrated by a lack of response to your email campaigns? I mean, you spend all this time building the thing, you press send, you get a couple of hits, but you're not selling out of an entire release in one fell swoop. And if that's the case, then why even bother? Okay, that might be a little bit hyperbolic, but here's the deal. Pressing send once is not enough. Wineries, you are not sending enough email. It's just a bold statement, but I have good news for you. You don't have to go all, the gap, sending 3 emails a day, or get hyper prolific with content creation to get more exposure for your winery. Today, we're going to teach you how to get one email campaign to work harder for your winery. 2.5 times harder, in fact. And in the process, help you sell more wine. Keep watching for a simple 3-step process that'll help you build better engagement and revenue. And stay all the way to the end, because step 3 is the real moneymaker. It's responsible for doubling e-commerce results. I know you want them numbers. Stick around. Welcome to the Email Mavens YouTube channel, the place for winery owners and marketing professionals who want to learn to sell more wine online by sending better email campaigns. I'm Erica Walter, the founder and CEO of Email Mavens, and email marketing is more than my bread and butter. It's my jam. Maybe it is my deep love of email marketing that has me so passionate about the topic of wineries not sending enough emails. Or maybe it's my passion for seeing wineries succeed that has me evangelizing email marketing at every opportunity. Either way, the fact is most wineries are building an email campaign once a month, maybe once a quarter, pressing send one time, and that just isn't enough. We think we're being polite by saying things one time. But the fact is, with the social media algorithms the way they are and the inbox crowding situation, your one mention of what you have going on is a whisper in a roaring sea of information for your customers. The rule of 7 says that a customer needs to see or hear your message at least 7 times before they're going to take action on it. And one email sent one time to everybody is far from that 7 times. If you have something of value to share with the world, you are doing the world a disservice if you just one and done it. I know that you're proud of the wine you just put in that bottle. You are. So share it loudly from the rooftops more than one time, please. And just from an efficiency perspective, like boil it all down to just working smarter, not harder. When you think about the time and effort you spend on creating an email campaign only to send it one time, come on, people. Let's get that email to work harder for you. 2.5 times harder, in fact. This is our not legally trademarked signature 3-send, resend strategy, and it increases the exposure of your email campaigns dramatically. Step 1, send your email campaign. Very simple. But if you've been watching along with the Email Mavens, and in fact, if you watched the previous episode, you already know that sending your email campaign is not batch and blasting, sending one email to everybody. No, you're going to send your email campaign very targeted to 3 different unique audiences in your overall database. Your wine club members, your purchasers who aren't wine club members, and your lurkers, the people that haven't spent any money with you yet. Watch the previous episode, episode 4, if you haven't already learned this strategy for your winery. This is where most wineries stop, is the end. I send my email, it's done. But not you. You are about to go next level, because the next step in our 3-send, resend strategy is resending your email campaign to the people who didn't open it the first time. Now, you're not just going to resend it with the exact same subject line. No. You're going to mix up this resend to non-openers by time of day of the week, naturally. It's obviously going to happen at a different day of the week. And you're also going to adjust your subject line for your non-responders send. So step 1, identify who on your email list didn't open the email campaign already. Step 2, find a different day of the week and time of day to send that email. So if you sent it on a Tuesday morning, resend on a Wednesday night, or even better, resend it on a weekend day so that you're really mixing up who you're reaching with your message. And then the other thing I want you to look at is the subject line. Now, if your first send was like, now available, this wine, then you want to mix up the hook with your next send. Maybe you have a shipping offer, so use that in the subject line. Shipping included on this wine. Or if you already used that lever, maybe use user reviews, scores, limited availability. If your first email's subject line didn't capture people's imagination and get them excited enough to open your email, you gotta mix it up. So non-responder send goes to people on a different day of the week, a different time of day, and you adjust your subject line to capture the customer's attention in a different way. That's it for step 2. Are you ready? Because this one, this is where the money, those inbox dollars are coming in hot. Step 3 is to target the people who have not already taken action and give them a last call. Now, in order to do this, it is very helpful to have integrated data so that you can easily identify who purchased your product or took action on your reservations, call to action, or whatever else your email campaign was about. If you don't have integrated data, no excuses. What you'll do is simply log into your point of sale, identify those people, export them, and then import those people as a suppression list for your last call. Now, you don't want to be like, last call on the 2020 Syrah to people who just bought the 2020 Syrah. They're going to be like, why are you sending me this? So that's the reason we want to pull out those buyers for your last chance send. Here's a word of warning. I don't want you to think that this last call is going to annoy your customers. If you have the idea that your customers are going to think this is overkill or too much, if you are coming from a place of, ooh, is it all right if I say, if you have that thought, it is going to seep into your email strategy and you might come off a little needy. I need you to look at this last call as a customer service initiative, as a value add to your customers. Because if you don't send this email, these people may not ever get to see this wine. And you love this wine, you're proud of this wine, they need this wine, they want it. Your mindset with this last call and any adjustments you make to the creative really needs to be about service, reminder, loving up on those people, and encouraging them to take action. There are FOMO people out there. They saw your first send and they were like, I do want that, but they didn't have their wallet on them, or they were in the middle of their workday and they didn't want their boss looking over their shoulder while they're buying wine online. You got to find those people and give them one more invitation to take action. Now, from a strategic perspective, I love to time this within like a 24 to 48 hour window of when your offer might expire. But in some instances, that's not really a relevant hook. Like if the wine is going to be available for forever, like you're going to have to think about the timing. I want you to find a relevant reason to send a last call and then time that last call closely to when that relevant reason might be. So if it is an access thing, like you're down to the last 10 cases, then say last 10 cases. If it's final opportunity to place your order for delivery by Memorial Day weekend, time it as close to that last kind of cutoff as possible, because narrowing the window for your customer to take action inspires them to take action that much faster. So that's just another little strategy hot take for you, because I like to give the strategy hot takes. So earlier I said step 3 is responsible for nearly doubling the e-commerce revenue. We see this time and time again. When we create a reason to send that last call, a relevant reason to send that last call, that email can oftentimes more than double the e-commerce results that we got from the first 2 sends. People wait to the last minute. It just is what it is. So don't sleep on this. Don't think it's going to be an annoyance to your customers. It is a customer service opportunity for you, and it is responsible for huge lifts in that revenue. Now, there are a few anomalies sometimes when a signature 3-send resend strategy is actually not a winner, and I'm going to tell you what those anomalies are next. Number 1, one-day flash sales. Please do not send your email campaign 3 times in a 24-hour window of time. Don't. Number 2, you're a newsletter. Now, strategically speaking, I am not a huge fan of newsletters, but the Email Mavens do work with wineries who like to send something on a quarterly basis that's a bit of a roundup of different topics that touch on a lot of different aspects of their overall business. If you are one of those wineries, never fear, you can still get that newsletter to work harder for you by doing a first send, your non-responder send, and then for that last call, there may be something time-bound within your email content that you might be able to just sort of highlight to the top of your message with a last call, but it's not a resend of your newsletter then. It's like a dedicated spotlight of one thing, okay? Don't send your newsletter 3 times, dear God. And the last one, which is sort of aligned with a one-day flash sale, is if your email content is like very seasonally or like holiday specific. If you did an email campaign that was all about the love story behind your winery and it was timed to Valentine's Day and you sent it on Valentine's Day, if you do just the typical out-of-the-box resend strategy, it's going to be irrelevant. So make sure you adjust your content and really look through it for anything that might seem kind of off base if you don't adjust it slightly. So like in the Valentine's Day example, instead of being like, because it's Valentine's Day and love is in the air, you could look at your email content and say instead, because we just celebrated Valentine's Day and we think love should be celebrated every day of the year. Or just pull out every reference to Valentine's Day as another option. But don't resend your email just out of the box sort of blindly without looking at the content to make sure that everything inside of it is still seasonally or holiday specific relevant. There you have it. You have learned the 3 steps to making one email work at least 2.5 times harder for your winery. But we say it here all the time. Once you know better, you gotta do better. So here's how you're gonna put what you learned today into action. I want you to look at the campaigns you have on your calendar for the next quarter. And I want you to, in addition to the initial launch date, map out your resends. Put the non-responder send on your calendar, different day, different time of day. I want you to also find a relevant reason for a last call for every email on your campaign calendar so that you get that boom, boom, boost in revenue, baby. If it's not on the calendar, it's not real. My girl Marie Forleo says that, and I believe it. So actually map these resends out on your campaign calendar for the next quarter. The other thing you have to do is actually monitor your results. Keep track of your open rate and click-through rate and conversion rate and revenue for each of these sends, because when you see the actual positive results you're getting, you're going to be incentivized to keep the strategy up. And that is what I want you to do. We respect what we inspect. So inspect those numbers and keep track so that you can go to your boss, or if you're the boss, you can go to yourself in the mirror and say, high five me, I just killed it with my e-commerce because I used the signature 3-send resend strategy that the Email Mavens taught me. You've got your homework, but before you go, I want you to make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a hot take. And I think after you push subscribe, there's a little bell thing. You want to ring that bell so you're notified every time a new episode is live. I believe that every winery can sell more wine online when using effective email marketing strategies. And the strategy we shared with you today is a winner. So until next week, keep pressing send on your next best email. Now, what do I want to say about that? For every email on your campaign calendar, and put that on the calendar as well. I said calendar a lot there. I might try that one more time. I also want you to look at that calendar of campaigns and find a spot for a relevant Lance. Lance? Who's Lance?
Lance Armstrong.
Cheater. So, you've got your homework. Go use it. And I look forward to seeing all three. Well, I won't see all three. I wouldn't see all three. No one will see all three